Today we are taking this 2019 Range Rover Sport across the English Channel to Reims. The dog is not coming. We are going to be showcasing the 2019 Range Rover Sport for a very cool client.
Oh, you've got a lot of grey hair. Rubbish and synchronising.
Well, welcome to a DNF day out.
Well guys, this is going to be fun today.
We're working. This is work. Let's go.
Yeah, I've got my laptop, I've got a charger.
Oh, we've got the MiFi, by the way.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So jump on mobile internet. 21st century. Brilliant. Mobile office.
Mobile office.
DNF on the road.
DNF on the road.
We come to you.
Woo! Bienvenue en France.
What car are you just doing? Let's do some Google.
We're in a 2019 Range Rover Sport and I need to know how to change the dash from miles per hour to kilometres an hour because my mental arithmetic is not quick enough to do the maths.
Who's the speakers?
Meridian. Why don't you tell everyone?
What would you like to know?
Well, just
about Bollinger?
No, we're in the
Bollinger
heart.
started in 1827. I think it did actually, didn't it? 27. Something like that, yeah. Madame Bollinger.
But before we go to classy Bollinger and get nice shots of this lovely Range Rover,
It's what McDonald's is.
we're gonna go to a McDonald's because we're classy birds. Now that I've ditched my passengers at Bollinger, I can talk about what it is I am doing, or what we are doing with this car. So, we are working in partnership with Sixt, and they have given us this car to travel down to Reims, down to France in order to get some photos for their social sites and a couple of other little bits and bobs, essentially raising the profile of Sixt in the UK. But that's the thing with providing content, you have to be imaginative about it. So grabbing this car, taking photos of it in central London, that was never really going to cut it because it's not really that interesting. However, once you start to frame the whole story with the fact that you brought a Range Rover to Reims, the Champagne capital, and this is it in some vineyards, suddenly the whole thing sounds a lot more interesting, which is why we're here. And so what we've done is also combine it with the fact that actually we do love a little bit of champagne, and there just happened to be a bit of a party and a bit of a tour going on at Bollinger, so we thought, why don't we combine the two?
And the French!
Given that we are in Champagne country, I thought it would be rude not to take you on a little tour of the vineyards. I'm currently sat on the historic Champagne Trail, I think it's called, something like that. And I'm basically just going to drive through this little winding road that takes you through the vineyards of people like Moët Chandon and Bollinger and a bunch of these other champagne houses. So I'm going to stop prattling on, I'm going to turn the camera around, and hopefully you will see what it's like to drive through some vineyards in a Range Rover Sport. So there you have it, a very small tour from someone who knows nothing about champagne around the vineyards outside of A in France. And I've got to say, there's something quite nice about being able to take a car like this, which is useful, because that was some steep tracks. There was a tiny bit of having to mount the curb and get the car off-road, but it dealt with it really, really well for something that's ultimately known for just driving kids around town and being a bit of a Chelsea tractor. But actually, it's nice to know that this car is capable of actually taking you up through some vineyards. So this is the end of my time in the Range Rover Sport. It is time to hand it back to Sixt. And to do that, I have to go back to central London, which some would argue is this car's natural habitat. But it has been an impeccable mile muncher and just an all-round, just everything you would want to get yourself down to northern France and back in pure comfort, and also pack the back up with a bunch of stuff that you'd need on a little road trip to Champagne country. And more importantly, enough room in the back to pack all the stuff into that you'd want to take back from Champagne country. So, 2019 Range Rover Sport, thumbs up from me.
Do you not like doing like just a U-turn?